Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. We've got a pretty interesting matchup here. I am going to be piloting the Rebecca deck list here and playing up against my man Alexander here, running the Zoro. This ends up being usually a pretty cut and dry match for Rebecca to, pretty single-handedly take the match. Rebecca's just very good into those red matchups. But yeah, you definitely have to see the right cards, and you gotta have the right counters as well. Now you'll see that I have a card that's turned backwards in my hand at the moment. That is a red rock that I was testing during some of the matches here, and yeah, I kind of just didn't have the card with me at the moment, and I just ran it as like a backwards card. So just a little proxy that we had. But turn one, we'll go ahead and get down the Kurita Coliseum. He goes ahead and plays that Curly Dodon, picking up a nice little Makino there. And he'll pass it over. So I do have the option of putting down Kyros here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Now, I do look at the card again. I think I remember that because I was initially not going to trash a card because I didn't KO something, but I believe you have to perform the trash card regardless, or excuse me, the trashing of the card regardless. So there's a lot of the Rebecca deck that I'm still kind of figuring out and playing through. We do take this first swing. I'm not entirely sure if that was the best idea, but we do only have we have 3 events in hand, so it's not like we have that much of a decision to be made. But yeah, it's kind of hard when you don't have it. But Buggy does whiff here, and I believe that he played another Curly Dodon just to search out that Buggy. But going up to 5 Dawn, I will just go ahead and swing 5 at life with Kyros, and I'll just rest 1 to use that leader ability, and trashing the Ice Age, picking up Sabo. Ice Age has felt so good against so many deck lists, and I'm absolutely loving that. And it's like you need it against other matches. There's, you can have the Orlumbus, but that Ice Age really helps you get over like certain humps and being able to bottom deck a lot of cards or remove it using Truno Bastardo or stuff like that. I guess its translation is Bastard Sword, if I'm not mistaken. I don't entirely know, but we'll see a 6k swing coming into Kyros here, and I was like, are you sure you want to do that? I'll rest the Coliseum. We'll see a 5k swing coming in with Curly Dodon. Makes me feel like I could just rest the leader, but at the same time, we might end up seeing a... what I was thinking was potentially a... I'm forgetting the name of it. Like an event card that was going to KO Kyros, so I said, yeah, I'll save the resting of the leader just in case. But we'll pass it over back to me with 7 Dawn here, and now I think I can go into a lot of what he has on the board. Unfortunately, though, Buggy is immune to slash, and Kyros is a slash type, so it doesn't really help me very much. I'm trying to make sure that I can get that through, but I'm gonna probably end up having a swing Orlumbus or potentially use like a 1-cost Leo or something like that. But we pick up the Bartolomeo 2k blocker right there, and resting 3, probably just gonna play another Kyros. Yeah, KOing the Buggy, and now I can swing with both Kyroses into the Curly Dodons and feel very comfy knowing that I just have, a really nice setup. And I think with 3 Dawn left, we could also potentially see a... like that Bartolomeo blocker coming down, but I think I might end up just passing. I'm not sure what I got going on at the moment. If you see that I have my... Alright, so we do put the Bartolomeo out as well. So, Rebecca, I will tilt my leader a little bit just to remind myself that I've used my leader ability. It's something that I've been kind of like trying to find a way to remind myself if I've used the leader ability or not, just so that I don't use it twice in one turn, because you can use it at the beginning of a turn, go through a lot of different processes and stuff like that, and then it just slips your mind. And I would hate to be in that situation where I end up, Yeah, doing somebody dirty because I accidentally searched twice with Rebecca. He does slap 2 underneath the Zoro leader, so we might just be seeing a 7k swing coming at the life, but we will see rested 5, Marco taking care of that Bartolomeo, and then 7 at life. I do take this. I feel like my hand is a lot of events at the moment. I think we have 4 events in hand, so we got to do something about that. I think that using the Truno Bastardo, if we do have the 15 cards in my life, it would be really nice, but we end up just bottom decking it using Red Rock. So I'll just go ahead and rest 6. I'll probably end up using leader ability just to search out something, see what we got. And then we'll have a little bit of Dawn to work with for some swings. I will pick up Gyatz though here. Really nice 2k counter, but also very good for some future swings potentially. I didn't realize that I didn't put Gyatz back into hand, so it was on the board. It's not, I realized in just a moment and I put it back into my hand, but it definitely a slight mistake. So we'll go 5 with both Kiroses, potentially 7 with Orlumbus. But another 5 coming here, and he does take, which I was a little surprised by, so I'll just go ahead and swing 7, and we'll see guard point coming down to defend. Was a little shocked by that. Getting him down to 2 life this early feels pretty good. If we do end up drawing into that King Kong gun, we can just start going wild. But we haven't seen a Luffy yet, so no 5-drop, or excuse me, no 7-drop Luffy as of right now. We'll see 7k swing into our Lumbus. Definitely going to be countering out of that. I think we counter out with 2 2k counters just to make sure our Lumbus is good for the following turn. And I'm just counting how much I have in my trash because that's a great way to play around what is, you know, the future. And we'll see Zoro coming down, going 7k most likely at Orlumbus here. I will just have to let it go. Lack of counter power in hand, but he does pass it with, I believe, 4 active Dawn. I'm like, whoa, okay, what is going on? Now, I definitely want the Zoro dead, but I'm also trying to get some of those cards out of his hand. He's got quite a bit at the moment. And going up to 10 Dawn is a little bit of a sweet spot. We'll just use that leader ability. I pick up a Red Rock as well as the Rebecca. I'll just go ahead and trash the Red Rock and use Rebecca's ability to look at top 3. I do find the 7-drop Luffy finally, so I'm happy. We're looking good. Sabo in hand as well, just in case if I wanted to save some cards from effects, but I'll just go 5 into the Zoro right here. This is a pretty easy counter out. I think I might have seen a Magra in hand, but we do see the Red Hawk coming down to get rid of Rebecca. I'll do a 6k swing and it'll counter out with Makino. 7 from Luffy into the Zoro. And now he's got to think if he's really trying to dedicate this. I will restand and just kind of get some cards that I want back into the deck right here. And now the double Red Rock to save Luffy. You know, does he have 2 more 2k counters to get out of another 7k swing is definitely going to be the deciding factor here. If he does, I mean, then he can be pretty aggressive with the Zoro if he really wants to. But I'll just go 7, and he lets it die. So that it felt a little bit like an overextension right there, trying to keep Zoro alive. There's a lot of good events invested in that, but the one Zoro being down feels good for me. I just got to protect this Luffy. You know, I'm not gonna counter out my heart and soul just to protect the card, considering we actually only have like 3k counter in hand, I believe. But he does see a Zoro and a 2k Brook. We'll see the Brook being picked up for that counter power, and I think he's got multiple Rush Zoros in hand, so we'll see a 6k swing coming at life. I am thinking of taking it, but I do just go out with 2 1k counters, leaving 1k counter in hand left. We'll see a 7k swing at life, which I do take, and then another 7k swing. I was like, uh-oh, this is getting a little nerve-wracking. I wasn't expecting him to go for life. I was expecting him to go for the Luffy for sure. So now I really kind of have to try and find that King Kong gun if I want to go for game. But if I can't get the game, we do have the option of playing Sabo, going a little bit more of a defensive route. I could just restand the Luffy and swing for it, but I am just going to go 5 to one of the Zoros. We'll see a 2k counter coming out with that Brook. And now I could go another 5 as well. I think that Sabo's probably going to end up being the play here. But Rebecca, just to search out and see if we can find anything. I accidentally look at 5, and then I realized that I'm only supposed to look at 3. Kind of being so used to it. And he said, no, you don't have to bottom deck it. It's not a problem. I was like, yeah, I'm probably just going to use leader ability anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal. But we do pick up the 2k counter Bartolomeo. And yeah, I will just use the leader ability, though, because I felt bad looking at those 2 cards. I was like, oh, that was a mistake on my part. Pick up Rebecca, and now I think that we're probably just going to see some 5k swings coming down at the Zoro, as well as potentially a restand with the Luffy. So 3 for Bartolomeo, and then probably 5 for Sabo, just to make sure that, you know, we get enough counter in hand, but also everything can't be KO'd by effects. And now, yeah, I get to draw 2, trash 2, and it looks as though we finally draw into that King Kong gun, which is nice. But I think I'm just going to get rid of both of the bastard swords here. It doesn't really help me very much, and I just kind of want to get them out of the way. I'm like, all right, I could play the card, but realistically, I'm looking for counter power here, and I'm looking to stay alive because I have had those cards in my hand from the very beginning of the game, and they really just haven't done me much justice. I've been trying to build the board so that I can go as wide as possible and prevent Zoro from kind of getting some of that momentum, but a lot of these rush cards are, yeah, pretty annoying. I will go 7 into one of the Zoros. We will see that die. So now a little bit of breath of fresh air, having only 3 swings this turn, potentially 4, 5 if he's got some of the other rush cards. But knowing that 3 of the Zoros have already been in play makes me feel pretty confident that we're going to be okay. Yeah, I'm just counting up the trash though, just to see if I will have enough for potentially using King Kong gun the following turn. We're going to see an 8k swing. I will just go ahead and block with Bartolomeo there. And we'll see a 9k swing with Zoro coming in. And I will just block with Sabo, giving 2Ks as well. I think that might have been a little bit of an overcommit, but I'm trying to go for game the following turn. And game with the 3k, or excuse me, the 3-cost Bastard Sword will most likely get me there. And now he will use a... Yep, he's going to use a Gordon on the Luffy and another Gordon on the Luffy, bringing it to 1,000, right? And he's thinking about how much Dawn he wants to put down on this, and he's thinking of going 4,000, but might want to go. He's thinking of 5, and I think that I was telling him right here that 5's definitely going to get it killed, but you're going without any Dawn now and only 2 cards in hand. Looks like he showed a Makino and a Jet Pistol, so pretty much have the game here. But I would have loved to have that Luffy if I could have with the 3-cost King Kong gun, but we still got enough to get the job done here. All I have to do is rest 3 Dawn, put that on one of the Kyros, swing for 11, and then I can put the rest on Kyros or Sabo. And I almost thought about swinging 7, and then I realized, oh, you only have 2 life. So I definitely need to get that double attack through first. I don't know why I'm going for Rebecca here. Almost did the 5-card draw again. Just trying to remember that a lot of these searchers have different numbers, like 4 for pudding, 5 for everything red, basically, and 3 for pretty much everything black. Pretty much. I don't know why we're doing as much searching as possible. I think that I was just kind of getting a little worried, a little too worried, if I'm being honest. I don't know what I was doing. In my experience with Rebecca, I have definitely not been playing this deck correctly. I've just been kind of hoping that I can figure out the list and the ways to play it, but looking back on some of the matches, I definitely could have been doing this a lot differently. And we see an 11k swing with double attack coming at life, and no trigger on the first one, no trigger on the second one. And then we just have a lot of Dawn left. I'm thinking, okay, if he's got rush cards, I just probably lose next turn because I have a lack of counter, but I'm just going to go for it. Why not? And yep, we end up getting it. He's got, he actually got some pretty good life right there. Two 2k counters, and then, yeah, last card being a Diable Jambe and a Jet Pistol. But good match overall. A lot of fun, a lot of learning moments, because at the end of the day, I haven't played Rebecca very much over the board. I've played it a little bit on the sim, but it's going to be a lot of fun to practice and finding those right numbers so that you can kind of try and have that deck be relevant against anything that's not red. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.